Hey everybody, it's Alexis with Create Your Future, and today I am back with a brand new video, today focusing on how to manifest your ex back and or how to manifest somebody back into your physical reality, into your space if there has been a separation or you're not technically physically together in your 3D reality. Before I get started, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Please hit the bell icon in the box below and you get notified every time we post new videos. And also, you guys, if you're watching this when it comes out, that means it's Monday. So happy Monday. If you're watching it later or after on a replay, then have a great day. Happy day, whatever that day is. Okay, so you guys, I got some feedback from a client who had been in separation where her boyfriend had broken up with her. He had said he didn't want anything to do with her. He had moved out. He got a new apartment. And then guess what? He came back. So she's in the middle of the manifestational process. They're working things out, but she wrote in to tell me that he began telling her a very specific intention, which is that he's working on the brand new him. So he's working on the brand new blank, like his name. So you could put, let's say your SP is Jerry. He told me that he's working on becoming the brand new Jerry. Okay, so it fits whatever scenario. So I find this to be really fascinating because this actually tackles a lot of issues that I see with people manifesting for an SP, how they're going about the manifestational process before they begin coaching, and then what they're really focusing on. So the first thing I want to point out about this client, before she began coaching and we began kind of dissecting her situation, which is what I do with everybody because that's my job, right? She had a lot of intentions and she had a lot of focus on her energy in the manifestational process where she was taking all the blame for everything. So think about this for a second, you guys. If you're underneath all of your manifesting and you unconsciously have this model of your inner world that you are to blame for everything. It's all your fault. I can't believe I manifest. Let's just think about the inner dialogue of what she was thinking before we kind of reworked it was, this is all my fault. I can't believe I manifested this. I'm messing up another relationship. All of my relationships are doomed to fail. Everything is my fault. I'm a big F up. Okay. That was kind of like her inner dialogue. So from that inner dialogue space, before we began working together, her intentions were something like, he loves me, he misses me, he is totally obsessed with me, he thinks about me all the time, he text messages me. Okay. So it's very common to, if you're watching our channel or you watch other manifestational videos in the whole community of manifesting, right? Those are very stereotypical affirmations and intentions that we hear or that I hear a lot of the time. And then I always hear, and Alexis, why isn't anything working? Why isn't he texting me? Why isn't he calling me? Why isn't he choosing me? And I say, okay, well, those intentions are great. Your affirmations are great. But what do you think about yourself in this scenario? Right. And it's in about, 20 minutes, usually I can understand that most people are blaming themselves when something has gone wrong. So if this is you and you have manifested a situation in your physical experience where he or she or they or them or theirs have moved out. So it applies to everybody. They've moved out and they say, I want nothing to do with you. And you're taking it on, number one, making it personal about you because they're saying something about you. And then you're blaming yourself, putting yourself down. And that is at the baseline of your manifesting, you guys. Then that assumption of your reality, that assumption inherently of yourself, in a way, cancels out all those beautiful intentions. Now, with this client, her affirmations, her intentions were not incorrect. It is not incorrect to think he's texting me to get him to text you, or he's calling me to get him to call you, or he's doing this to get him to do that, because we know that your thoughts are things and your thoughts create. But if this has happened to you, I want you, just like I encouraged her, to dig a little bit deeper and start deciding, I know this might sound crazy, but that it's not all your fault. Now, even if we take out the aspects of manifesting and that you are the creator of your experience and that your reality is energy, there are always two people in a relationship. That's why we get all of those other phrases. It takes two to tango. There's two people in a relationship. There's two people in a marriage. There's always two. So if you have the tendency to blame yourself and berate yourself and put yourself down when something goes wrong, that is really why this is happening. Somehow, some way, somewhere in your psychological experience of your lifetime, you began to decide or you took on that you were the one to blame, or that you do things incorrectly, or that you do things wrong. Now, as I'm saying this, if this triggers you, right, I would invite you to begin to gently look at these things. Because if you're walking around with a framework, right, in NLP, we call it like a model of the world. It's really a model of yourself. If you're walking around in your reality with the model that you have taken on from probably somebody else, you guys, most likely this happened in your childhood or your developmental years, or in a major relationship where you took on the opinion of somebody else that I am the one to blame. Now, parents often do this to their children just because if you have parents in your situation where they didn't work on themselves, they didn't evolve themselves, then they just passed on to you their negative beliefs about their realities, and you took them on as your own. Right? But you really want to begin to think about this. So just like her, we began, I'll give you the example here of this client. I began to ask her, okay, so where did this happen? Where did we decide somewhere, somehow, some way that you were the one to blame and it was all your fault? Because this is the key thing here, right? Is if she continues to carry on the belief of it is all my fault, the assumption that everything is my fault, I am the one to blame. And then she watches manifestational videos and hears, this is your reality, everything essentially is your fault, and takes it on that way, which is not the essence of manifesting, by the way. Then she can manifest the X back, yes. The same thing will happen also. And then how is he ever going to apologize if you have that deep assumption, that deep belief that everything is your fault, right? So this is self-concept work in a deeper way. This is the same thing. It's self-concept work, but it's looking at the deeper programming, the deeper aspects of you that are underwriting everything else. So also this is helpful too if you're doing a bunch of affirmations, if you're doing a mental diet and nothing is happening, because you're not looking at that deeper assumption of self. Now, I will say that the deeper, ickier things of ourselves that we've carried with us for so long are the things we usually don't want to look at. But I'll tell you, you guys, if you begin to look at them and you begin to investigate them, then that is where you get the deepest results with your manifesting. That's where the mental diet and affirming for the opposite, deciding for the opposite, assuming essentially the opposite is really key and so possible. Okay. So it's like in traditional psychotherapy, you would talk about the model of your childhood. You would talk about the origin of a belief without being able to change it. And I'm not trying to offend anybody who's a therapist or who does any kind of work about the past. It's just that in this instance with clients, I try to give them the tools to change the future. So we change the programming to create what you want and to have a better outcome. Okay, so just so I say that. So like with this client, we uncovered, we figured out, okay, at some point somewhere, without giving away too much of her information, she had taken on this whole idea that everything was her fault. She was the one to blame. She was always the one who had to apologize. She never did anything right. Wow, you guys, I can't even tell you. We had a breakthrough session where she realized everything that she thought was happening was her fault. So she could go to the grocery store and someone could, I think at one time she told me she went to the grocery store. She was, what was it that happened? I think that like something like a tomato fell on the floor and the tomato was rotten and the tomato exploded. And then she blamed herself versus like, oh, this store had a tomato that was rotten and they put it out for sale. It is just a small example here. Now, remember, even though it is your reality, and your reality is a projection of you, it doesn't mean that we want to label everything as your fault. That we want to take it too far to say other people aren't accountable or like everything comes down to me. Now, everything does come down to you. So that means that we want to rework those deep belief systems, right? And begin thinking that there have always been all these people, always in all different scenarios, right? I am capable. It is possible for me. to receive an apology. I am a wonderful, beautiful, amazing person, and I'm always doing things correctly. I love myself, and everybody loves me too when I love myself. I am so good at doing things. I am so accomplished. I am amazing. And guess what? I'm always doing everything correctly now. Another caveat I want to add here too. Wait a minute, you guys. I just told you the intentions. I just did the mental diet. How cute is that? I didn't even plan on that. So if you want to rewind and you want to write those down, those were some of the intentions that I gave her. And they're intentions I generally give to people to override that assumption, because that's what you're doing with your mental diet. You're overriding assumptions. And again, this is really helpful if you're just doing a bunch of affirmations, but you still don't feel good, right? And you still aren't seeing a lot of results, because you want to do both. You want to do intentions for the SP to, again, create what you want, but you also want to do the appropriate intentions to tackle whatever the assumption is that you have. And everyone's assumptions are different. That's why booking one-on-one coaching and really having the time for yourself to investigate, what are the beliefs I want to change? What are the assumptions that I have about myself? What do I need to change here? Because everybody has different assumptions. Everybody has different belief systems. There are some that are basic, right? But it really helps to get a perspective of somebody that knows how to dig into your mind. If you want extra help, the link for booking one-on-one coaching and/or hypnosis with me is in the box below. But getting back to the video, those are beautiful intentions. That's how she did her mental diet. So she worked on her self-concept, yes, but her self-concept was not, I am confident, I am a master manifester, I am so beautiful, I get what I want. She believed that she could get what she wanted, but she believed that everything was her fault and that she was the one to blame, and that there was always something wrong, and also that there was always chaos. Okay. So it's very interesting how our minds work, but that is how our deeper assumptions create thoughts. We push them out and we create into our reality. Remember, you guys, that everything from your inner world and what you persist in the inner world is what shows up outside of you. So, like, as an example with this client, she had this whole model, like I said before, that everything was her fault. She never received an apology. Everything was always wrong. Everything was always chaotic. So guess what? She would get him to come back. She would get him to text her. She would get him to call her, but it was always perpetuated by that underlying theme of chaos, the underlying theme of everything is her fault, the underlying theme of a roller coaster, which is really common to a lot of people. A lot of people live their entire lives this way and have no idea. But the good news is here with the mental diet, I'm focusing on new thoughts, new decisions, new intentions, using your inner imagination, which is your intentions, it is your visualization, and it is your inner conversations to create that which you want. Now, I offer those three today in this video because some people like to do all three. Some people like to visualize, but a lot of people overcomplicate it these days. Some people like to just do intentions. Some people like to do inner conversations where they hear someone tell them a new thing. Okay. You want to do whatever works for you. There isn't one way to manifest. There isn't one way to get what you want in your reality, but the embodiment of what you want and creating it is the key to everything. Okay. So really start to think about this today. Now, this, like I said in the beginning of the video, one of our intentions for this SP was he is working on becoming the brand new Jerry blank, right? That was with the name of her SP. So that right there, he's working on becoming the best version of himself, essentially. It's putting the blame on the both of you. Instead of doing your intentions where you're having the SP on a pedestal and you're wanting them, needing them, being coming from a desperate place or a place of lack for them to do something, which is where we never want them to, what you to come from in order to create what you want. And you don't have to do it that way. And it's honestly very unsatisfying over time to be thinking that you're making somebody do something, that you're desperate for it. You need it. You want it to happen. You don't have it. Why isn't it happening? Where is it? And this solves that problem, right? So you really want to take a hard look at yourself, take a hard look at your manifestational process and see if this helps. Ask yourself, am I taking on all the blame for everything? Do I assume people don't give me apologies? Do I assume things don't work out for me? Do I assume that everything is filled with chaos? Do I assume life has to be stressful? Do I assume XYZ about men, Do I assume XYZ about women? Do I assume XYZ about they, them, theirs? Usually, if we're having an issue in relationships and love, we have an assumption about something that isn't working in our favor. So begin to investigate it, you guys. This is a little bit more of an in-depth video, but I was really inspired by this client to share her story so that I can encourage all of you to dig a little bit deeper into yourselves, right? Really, really sit with yourself, have a hard look at yourself, because that really helps when we're trying to create an experience outside of ourselves that we truly want. And then we get into the place of deserving it, having it, and it's so lovely from that perspective. All right. So you guys, I hope that you have enjoyed the video for today. Make today awesome. Go out today and on purpose, create things that are blissful for you, full of joy. Have some fun with today, right? And also just a reminder that all of my courses are available on the website, as well as all of my hypnosis audios, recordings, and everything like that. Every day that I have a client, someone has a success story about how they feel so much better and or they're seeing movement with the SP because of just doing a hypnosis audio, because it goes into the subconscious. Okay, you guys, but please use these tools, right? Everything matters here. The what you put into the subconscious, if you're doing hypnosis or inner conversation, meditations, what matters is what you're thinking throughout the day. They're all meant to be a beautiful process to do together to create what you want. All right, so I will see you in my next video. I hope that you have found this video helpful and have a great day. Bye.